Hello everybody and welcome back to Teachers Talk Money, where I help teachers master their money in order to give back to themselves. You know the drill by now. I'm coming at you today with yet another unpopular opinion, of which I have many. When I was first learning about personal finance, one of the most fascinating concepts to me was something called lifestyle inflation. This is also called lifestyle creep. Some people refer to it as the hedonic treadmill. And this is the idea that for most people, as you make more money, your spending increases as your income does. So you never really get ahead on your finances because you just kind of spend whatever money you start making. And this is the reason that there are tons of people earning really great incomes and still not really getting much closer towards their longer term financial goals. Or maybe they're earning amazing incomes and still living in debt. It is a real issue and a real problem for a lot of people. And I think that's why, especially when I was first learning about this, I just came across resource after resource of how to avoid lifestyle inflation at all costs, like avoid it like the plague. A very common theme I noticed with a ton of creators was talking about living like a broke college student. Or in other words, not changing your habits post college. So just continuing to live the exact same way, keeping your expenses the same as when you were a student, but continuing to increase your income and then save and invest all of that income increase that you were able to get. They spoke about how keeping your expenses this low and sort of saving and investing the rest would supercharge your financial goals. And that is absolutely mathematically true, cannot be contested. If you get raises regularly and you invest 100% of those raises while you keep your expenses virtually the same, you will absolutely reach financial independence far before most people do, and far before you would if you did not invest those raises. As you may have guessed based on my unfrugal values, which if you are unfamiliar with that term, I'll link a video I did down below on what it means to be unfrugal and why I am unfrugal. I slightly diverge from a lot of the sort of narrative around lifestyle inflation in this space. I believe that money is a tool to improve my life. That is a core money value that I have. And so I do want to reach financial independence quickly. That is one way that I'm certainly going to leverage money as a tool to improve my life. However, I do not believe in delaying gratification for some hypothetical future that may or may not completely change somewhere along the way. At least not at the expense of my life here and now. There has to be some balance. When I was a college student, I had 3 roommates in a crappy apartment. I did not eat a variety of foods. I kind of just cycled between the same couple of meals because I needed to keep my expenses low. And I felt guilty about most of the purchases I made, specifically things I wanted to buy, but also sometimes things I needed. So suffice it to say, I don't want to live like a college student anymore. I want my life to be actually a little bit unrecognizable from the way I was living as a college student. And I don't have to live like a college student to reach my larger financial goals. I want my quality of life to improve as my income increases. Now, the jump from college to my first couple years teaching was a big one, and I'm probably not going to make those kind of huge lifestyle inflation increases each and every time I get a raise. However, I do want my life to continually improve as I make more money. I love living in a nice apartment. I love having a healthy diet with variety of foods. I love my super expensive dog and so many more things that I would never have been able to afford in college or even in the couple of years after college. Frankly, trying to live like a broke college student when you're an adult, I believe, is a huge recipe for guilt. So it's not something that I want to do in my life, and not something that I'm probably going to suggest anybody does. I think that the people that tend to be really gung-ho about living this way, I sort of question what it is all for. What is the money for if you are never really improving your life? Now, this obviously doesn't mean that I think people should spend extravagantly or spend 100% of their raises each and every year. Obviously, intentional lifestyle inflation is what I'm looking for, something more balanced. Because of course, as always, spending less than you make is kind of the first step of a really healthy financial life. But sacrificing your lifestyle and frankly your health in the present day for some hypothetical future isn't it? So how do you find that balance between paying yourself now and supporting your future self? One helpful tip for me when it comes to keeping lifestyle inflation intentional is deciding a percentage of your salary that you want to invest each and every year and a percentage that you want to spend on yourself. A lot of people recommend splitting it 50-50, which I think is a really great starting point. This makes sure that you literally are balancing paying yourself in today's life and making sure you're going to be able to support yourself in your future and reach those financial goals. I think that most people struggle with determining what is enough in two different ways. One of those ways is never really thinking that anything is enough and sort of spending more than you make. Obviously, some people spend more than they make because they don't make a livable wage. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who are making a comfortable salary and still spending more than that. And so yeah, that is one problem when it comes to defining what enough is. But I think that the other side of that coin is those people that are living like college students forever and sort of trying to challenge themselves as much as possible and never really letting themselves breathe, giving themselves a break, making sure that they don't feel guilty about spending money that they can afford to spend and things of that nature. So I really think that people on both sides of the spectrum need to be extremely intentional and really question what enough is. And it obviously totally depends on your personality and which side of the spectrum you're on. But I think that, you know, investing a certain percentage of that and then deciding intentionally how much of each raise you want to spend is a really good way to find this balance. So I hope that this video resonated with you. I know that while it's important to always kind of keep lifestyle inflation in check, I just do not believe that the narrative needs to be that we need to avoid it as much as possible because it's not really sustainable. It's probably not even fruitful. If this video resonated with you, please leave a comment down below, or if you have something that you'd like to challenge about this video, I also encourage you to leave a comment. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!